Would you rather? The rules of the game are very simple. Presented with two options, you decide which choice you would find preferable. You have to choose one or the other. A choice not to choose is effectively a choice not to play. And while you're encouraged to justify your answer however you would like, you can't change the basic premise of the question. Now, normally I would use this time to discuss the previous week's question, to give my answer, and to compare that with the answers you provided and interesting points which have been raised. But this is the first week. So instead, I'm going to discuss the game a little bit more and what makes it interesting to me. So, while anybody can present two options which are both favorable or unfavorable, and it might be hard to choose between them, to me, it's only really interesting if the choices are interconnected somehow. So, for example, while giving someone the ability to fly or $1 million poses an interesting thing where some people may have a hard time deciding between the money or supernatural ability, to me, it's not as interesting as if they were connected somehow, because at the end of the day, all the discussion is going to boil down to is which do you like better, without any real logic put into it. We're also not playing a game of press the button, where you're given a single choice, but with positive and negative effects. That's not to say that we can't have positive and negative effects as a choice, but it needs to still be one of two. So, we can't have something such as, would you rather have $1 million, but you would have to give $1 million to someone you dislike? Because that's not actually an either or question. However, would you rather have $1 million or $2 million, but you have to give it to other people, would be viable. Actually, there's interesting research to say that money given on other people is going to create greater and more long-lasting happiness than money spent on yourself. So a more interesting would you rather might be something such as, would you rather have $100,000 or $1 million, but you can only spend it on things for yourself? I'll also mention at this point that clever loopholes to trivialize one option or another are also not allowed. Basically, you're just finding a tricky way to not make a choice. Again, an example, saying that I'm going to take the $1 million to spend on myself, and I recognize that spending on other people is going to make me happier, is not actually choosing. You're just finding some clever way to make one option a non-option and get only benefit from the other. So, that all out of the way, without further ado, first week. This week has been about the concept of self-identity. And so my question to you, if you live for 100 years, would you rather have perfect physical or mental health? For extra credit, how would that be if you don't know how long you live? Or if you do know how long, but we're going to change the time? 50 years? 200 years? Maybe medical technology extends even further than that. Is there some point in time where you had one answer before, but a different answer beyond that point? As always, I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. For this video in particular, it's very important because without any discussion, next week's video is just going to be me talking through my own ideas. So I'd really love some extra support. And as always, if you enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, see ya.